On this edition of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, we take a road trip south for the Vauxhall Academy of Baseball's annual banquet and awards night. Welcome to episode 78 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. You know, baseball season is just around the corner when all of the different programs across this province are holding their annual awards and fundraising banquets. Our own Ian Wilson headed south to Vauxhall Academy of Baseball last weekend and chatted with a number of the guests. We'll start this week's episode with his discussion with the guest speaker, former Toronto Blue Jays infielder Rance Mulliniks.
Rance, first off, I guess, have you been to Alberta before? I believe you've done some speaking here before. Am I correct there?
I haven't done any speaking, but I've definitely been here because in association with the Blue Jays, I've done some youth clinics, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, of course, Calgary, Edmonton. So, yes, I'm familiar with the area.
Yeah. Why did you come to Vauxhall? What attracted you to this particular program?
Well, I was contacted by the Alomar Foundation, a guy named Craig Nyman, and asked me if I would be interested in attending. Mm-hmm. And I told him, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to do it. So that's kind of a long story short. They make all the arrangements, and all I really have to do is show up and enjoy the evening, have a good time.
You had a chance, I've talked to some of the athletes here, and they mentioned that they got a chance to meet you. What was part of the message that you wanted to send to them?
Well, a few things, shared a couple of baseball stories, but just wanted to emphasize to them the importance of accountability. Hold yourself accountable. If you make a mistake, own it, so to speak. Yeah. And always have the willingness to learn and to get better. Yeah. And if you do that, then even if you don't ever become a Major League Baseball player, you can most certainly be a success.
Yeah. Any early impressions of the facilities here, the baseball scene in Alberta? Anything stand out, or is it too early for that?
No, this is very impressive. I had, who would have thought that in a small town like Vauxhall that you would have this type of facility and program. Mm-hmm. So it is tremendous. I mean, I've been through the facilities. They go to school, they get to play baseball, and it's a great setup. Very, very impressive.
Yeah. I had the opportunity to interview Matt Stairs last year. He had played in Edmonton before, and I talked to him about the role of pinch hitting specifically. You kind of made a name for yourself, both playing in tandem and also as a pinch hitter. Tell me about the difficulty of that role and what made you so good at it?
Well, as a pinch hitter, one of the most important things is you have to accept the role from a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
And just make sure that you're prepared well in advance for a pinch hit situation, and then be committed to what you're trying to do. If you have the right mental approach to it and the right attitude about it, it's not as difficult as it may seem. Other than the fact, you get this one, you don't get 4 at-bats, you just get the 1 at-bat.
Yeah.
But if you're committed and you have a plan and you stay with it, you can thrive in that situation. So that's all I really tried to do, was just make sure I was well prepared, well in advance before the situation ever came up.
There's an excitement to it too, isn't there? Knowing that you're going to be called upon in critical situations.
Exactly, because there's really 2 advantages. First of all, if the game's tight late, you're probably going to get an opportunity, and you're going to be facing somebody out of the bullpen, and usually you can narrow that down to pitcher A or pitcher B. Yeah. And so you have a lot of time to prepare because you know what they throw. You should, if you're prepared, you're going to know how they're going to try to get you out. Yeah. And then you try to counter that with your plan of your own. So, and like you say, usually if you're pinch hitting late in the game, it can determine the outcome. Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, the Blue Jays community lost a very well-known player, beloved player in Tony Fernandez recently. Do you have any good, you played with him, any good memories and anything you'd like to share with us about Tony and who he was?
Yes, I have a lot of great memories about Tony, but when I heard that Tony had passed away, the first thought that I had, and the first thing that you would always think about when I think of Tony, was his devotion to his family and to his faith. He was a man of great character and of very strong faith, and he lived it every day. But most certainly he was a great baseball player, and I had the good fortune to play right next to him for probably 7 years or so. But Tony was the total package.
Last question, can you give us a bit of a preview of what you plan to tell the assembled crowd?
Well, I'm not actually speaking in the sense of giving a speech. It's a Q&A.
Okay.
So you'll find out when they ask me, then we'll know where we're going. So
sounds good, just like we've done here.
Yeah.
The night was also an opportunity to honor some of the players from the previous season, including Ben Adams, Max Grant, Ty Weavers, Hunter Porter, Jackson Clemett, and Carlin Dick, who all took home awards. Dick was handed the Reno Lizzie Scholarship, while Clemett was one of the Reno Lizzie underclassmen. Both took some time to chat with Ian as well.
Jackson, you got outside yesterday. It's February in Alberta, and you got a doubleheader. And tell me what it was like to be playing baseball in February in Alberta.
It was awesome, even if it was cold out. Like, just good to get outside and see some live action before we get down to Vegas and play in the Bishop Gorman tournament. And it went overall really well day, and just looking forward to our next games.
The last time that I caught up with you was at the T12. Tell me about just what you've been up to since that time.
After T12, we mostly shut it down for the fall season at Vauxhall due to the weather. So we went into the weight room. I've been working really hard during the off season, put on 15 pounds this off season. Hopefully of strength, I guess. But so just lots of off season training, speed work, and strength work.
Let's rewind things a bit just about your journey in baseball. I know a little bit of this story, but tell me about how you got into it. You're a pretty active kid, but what stuck with you for baseball?
Well, I've been playing sports my whole life, and baseball was always one that I knew something just stood out to it for me. And so I also played volleyball, had a pretty good run at that too. But baseball, I just felt like I could always, I connected better with it almost, yeah.
And tell me a bit about the Vauxhall program here. I mean, it's a program of some repute and well known and well scouted. What have you thought of the program thus far?
Yeah, Vauxhall has been amazing to me. I came here as a grade 10, so obviously one of the youngest on the team, and I just knew, when I was choosing, it was between Vauxhall or Okotoks, and I knew Vauxhall was the place for me because we live all together. You create such a good bond with your teammates, and obviously it's shown in the success that the program has had.
You had some scouts here, I believe, last week. It was a bunch of scouts coming through. What was that like? I mean, you kind of get used to traveling around and going to places where there are scouts, but they're coming into your home turf. What's that process like?
It's definitely easier on me than going somewhere else for scouts, but it's nothing that I'm not used to now. Over this past year, I got pretty used to it, yeah.
Moving forward, what are your expectations for 2020? I believe you're committed for Utah, if I'm not mistaken.
I recently committed to the University of Utah for baseball, and I haven't signed with them yet. It was just a verbal commitment, and I'm just looking to have the best season as I can. And obviously, the number one goal is to try to get drafted out of high school. But just to have a great season.
How do you, when you approach it like that, that's a big deal, that's a lofty dream, how do you just go out there and play and not get nervous about things? Or do you have moments where you do have the nerves?
No, I do get nervous quite a bit, but I enjoy the nerves, and I use them for my game. You can just build off them. I feel like it helps me play, actually.
Second of all, or lastly, I guess I'll put my scouting hat on. Describe yourself as a player. Tell what positions do you play, and what should scouts be looking for when they see Jackson Clemett?
I used to play everything growing up, but due to me being left-handed, it mostly first base, pitching, and outfield. I haven't pitched much recently because I found hitting I enjoy more.
Yeah.
So now I'm a primary center field, and I'm not really a home run type of hitter. I'm more of like an on-base doubles kind of guy.
How about defensively? Are you going to baby your bats more or your gloves?
Definitely my bats. Yeah, I'm more of an offensive player.
What's the perfect bat for you? And like dimensions and make and that kind of thing?
Right now we use all Rollins bats because we're sponsored by them. But during the off season, I like to use bomb bat because they don't break.
Okay.
I've gone through multiple bats throughout an off season, so it's a pretty good investment. Yeah.
Of course, this is the Banquet weekend. We've got former MLB talent in Rance Mulliniks speaking. Have you had a chance to hear from him yet? And if so,
yeah,
what was that like?
We actually sat down in the locker room. We got to ask him a bunch of questions. He told us some pretty cool stories that he had, and yeah, he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, what did you take away from that just that you could use in your moving forward in your career?
Definitely, he gave us a mindset that he said that a light bulb went off in his second year with the Blue Jays, and it was just the hard work and determination part. Like nothing came easy to him; he had to work for it.
I guess why don't we start with yesterday? It's February in Alberta, and you guys got out for a doubleheader yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was good. It was good to get out. I think it's one of the earliest times in the year that we've been outside, so it was good to get everything outside and take ground balls outside. We haven't done much in here, so it was good to get live at bats too, especially before the season gets rolling in a couple of weeks here. So
yeah, awesome. What were the field conditions like?
Pretty good. Besides the snowbank in right field, they were all pretty good. The infield was dry.
Yeah.
Outfield was pretty solid, but it was all dry. Yeah. They tarped their field, so it's good. Yeah.
This is our first time meeting and talking to you, so why don't we go back to your story in baseball? How did you get into the sport? Where are you from? Give us the lowdown on.
I'm from Abbotsford, British Columbia, and I got into the sport. I got two older brothers at 27 and 23, and they grew up playing the sport, and so I just fell in love with it. I grew up playing football, basketball, hockey, you name it, played it all, and I just fell in love with baseball and carried me all the way here.
Awesome. How did you end up in Vauxhall? What attracted you to this program?
I played with Dayton Peters my whole life growing up. He was graduated here last year, and he loved everything about it. And I also played for our assistant coach Joel Blake's dad.
Okay.
So for my 2 years of Bantam, and then he helped me get out here for my grade 11 year.
This is the Banquet weekend. Lots of people here filing in. Lots of people here to see Rance Mulliniks speak. Did you get a chance to meet Rance and pick his brain a little bit?
Yeah, we did. We talked to him just before we came over here around 4 o'clock, and told us a lot of cool stories. My favorite one was probably his story about Bobby Bonds and how he played with him in Anaheim. So he's got a lot of cool stories, and he's got an immense baseball mind that is very incredible.
What kind of stories did he tell you that you could actually, other than having like just a good laugh and having some good, cool stories to hear, stuff that you can use kind of moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. One he mentioned was be decisive. He was talking about how Cito Gaston had told him that if he's going to sit on a pitch, be decisive and don't let your mind change that, which I thought would resonate pretty well with young hitters like myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Describe yourself as a player. What positions do you play? Are you if you're really taking care of something in your locker room? Is it your glove? Is it your bat? What type of player are you?
I'm big about my bat. I play the outfield, and I think my strongest tool right now is my bat. But I've been working on my speed and my arm, so hopefully those get better. But if I was to take care of something, it'd definitely be my bat.
Now, what are the expectations for you this year? How old are you?
I'm 17.
17.
Yeah.
So what's the expectations for this year for you?
Just to have another winning season like we did last year, and just to keep getting better every day, and eventually graduate and move on to college, my college career.
Okay. And then I think have you signed Canisius?
Yeah, Canisius College,
That's right.
Yeah.
And then plans for the draft or hopes for the draft, or is that something you think about? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I hope to get drafted this year, I'm not expecting super high, but I would hope to get drafted. If not, definitely in my college career.
Yeah. Tell me about your approach to that. Does having the MLB draft as a possible dream come true, does it impact what you do on the field, or do you just kind of block that out a bit? Or
I try to block it out as much as possible. It's a pretty big deal if you do get drafted, for sure. But yeah, on the field, I just play my game, and hopefully someone finds something they like about it and eventually take me in the draft.
Also during the evening, a pair of Jets alumni were inducted into their Wall of Excellence. One of the originals from 2006-2007, David Reiniger, and 2013 to 2016 product and episode 24 and 36 guest Josh Bergman were honored. Reiniger sat down with Ian to talk about his memories of Vauxhall and more.
So David, first of all, congratulations on the award tonight. Tell me, let's go all the way back to you were the first recruit at the Vauxhall Baseball Academy. How did that come about? What's your recollection of that?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. My dad was my coach my whole life growing up, and we were a baseball family in the province, and we knew Les, and Les knew of us. So really how that came about is Les was starting up an academy, and my recollection is we were at a banquet or something one night, similar to tonight, and he had approached my parents and talked about that, and they talked to me about it, and it was from day one it was kind of let's go. You were all over it? Right. You were good to go?
Yeah, let's go. And tell me about that experience. You would have been the first in that first graduating class, and among the first students there. What was it like in those early years?
Yeah, it was interesting. We got here the first time, brand new academy, brand new everything. Nobody quite probably knew exactly what they were doing quite yet.
Yeah.
And we come in, and most people from different walks of life. I was from the city, right? Come to a town of 1,000 people and a K through 12 school with 150 people total in it.
Yeah.
And first day you sit in with, a couple guys I had grown up playing against, but mostly guys I didn't know.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're sitting in there, and it's day one, and you're meeting your coaches and meeting the staff at the school and meeting all these people, and it was moving into a new place, right? Because we didn't have dorms at that time. We were in billet houses, so I was living out on a farm. City boy, lived out on a farm for a year in Vauxhall.
How was that adjustment? Was it?
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, no, it was fun. My billet parents, Murray and Danny, were fantastic. I think day two they made me get in the tractor and taught me how to drive the tractor and go feed the cows.
You were going to learn something.
Right. No, but it was great. There was some getting used to it. It's a new school. It's a new thing. It's new teammates. But at the end of the day, we went to school until 2 or 3 o'clock, and then we were out on the field, and we were working hard, and we were playing ball. And we were playing college-age kids. We were going down to the States, going to Montana, Vegas, playing, and, thinking back on it and how new it was, it's incredible how smooth it went. Yeah, it's incredible.
Where did you end up going baseball-wise after Vauxhall? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so I went down to a school, a Division II, NCAA Division II school called the University of Alabama in Huntsville.
Okay.
They play in what's called the Gulf South Conference, and it's great ball. I mean, it's talented guys. It's a bunch of 5'11" guys like me, not necessarily 6'2", 6'3", 230 guys that are playing D1 ball and have all the potential. But the skill level was really high. So I went down there. I played for 4 years. Kind of had ups and downs in college for sure. But
were you a position player, pitcher? What was your?
Yeah, I was a second baseman here.
Okay.
When I went to college, the infield was. Had a bunch of veterans in it when I got to school, and there was a spot in the outfield and at DH. So I played a lot in the outfield and at DH as a freshman, mostly DH actually.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just stayed out in the outfield from there on. So yeah, I played mostly outfield DH in college.
Let's shift into your career. At what point did you kind of think baseball's been good, but I don't necessarily think it's the career path? Where did you go from there?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to the kids about that today, and they asked the same question, and I hadn't really necessarily thought about it like that before. I probably knew when I made the decision where I was going to school that I probably wasn't going to go play pro ball, and I needed to go have a good career.
Yeah.
Right? If I wanted to go do baseball 100%, play pro ball, probably would have went junior college route, try to go to a Division I school, try to go that direction. But I chose school for school and could also play baseball there and went to the Division II school. So I think I knew that early on. Yeah. And, you know, I was an okay player in college, and I think that kind of reinforced that I knew I needed to work pretty hard in school, and that probably wasn't going to be the forward path for me in baseball. Yeah.
And then tell us what you were studying and what kind of became the love of your academic career and why you went that way.
Yeah, when I was a junior in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started just going down the list of all the degrees you can possibly do. Big old list, probably Wikipedia or whatever. Yeah. You know, aerospace engineering was really the only one that clicked for me, that stood out. And at that time, I thought about airplanes and traveling, and I wanted to work on airplanes and do all that kind of stuff. Went down to Huntsville, and Huntsville's nickname is the Rocket City. That's where they designed the Apollo missions and the space shuttle and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I really kind of fell into, through my coursework, I got exposure to both sides, and I kind of really fell in love with the rocket propulsion space industry side of things. Was very interesting to me. And then when I graduated, I got an internship with Boeing as a prime contractor on a brand new NASA contract, which is incredibly lucky, right? That was a little bit of a stroke of luck, but that reinforced it further, and I've kind of been there ever since. Yeah. And did you love it right away from the time you were interning? I've always loved what I do. Work in general has ups and downs, but I have no issues getting up and going to the office every day.
And walk us through just some of the day-to-day work you do now. I mean, there's jokes tonight about calling you rocket scientists and stuff like this. Break it down. What do you actually do, and what does it involve?
Yeah, so our company, Blue Origin, first of all, the company's overall goal is to create the infrastructure so that we can reduce the cost of going to space. So for future entrepreneurs, that they can go do great things and expand the civilization in space. Yeah. Our program is kind of the very beginnings of that. I work on a rocket called New Shepard, and it's suborbital. It kind of goes up just to the, call it the edge of space, and it's meant to fly people up there, and you get to float around. It's tourism, essentially. Yeah. You get to float around for a couple, 2-3 minutes, and then you come back down. Yeah. So my job is I'm in charge of the rocket portion of that rocket. So I'm the director over we call it the propulsion module, or the booster stage. So day to day, we launch out of a site down in West Texas, kind of in the El Paso area. So we have a couple rockets in El Paso, and we're flying from time to time. We have one in the factory we're building. We're doing upgrades all the time. We're trying to certify to fly humans for the first time this year, so we're doing a lot of work. The FAA is the certifying body, Federal Aviation Administration. So my everyday is trying to keep us flying, trying to get us flying humans, and trying to build the next best thing and make it better.
Very cool. Yeah. 2 more questions, and I'll let you get back to enjoying your evening. Tell me what you learned and what kind of skill set that you may have got at Vauxhall Baseball Academy kind of helped prepare you for the work you do now.
Yeah.
You touched on that in your speech.
Yeah, I talked about it, and I skipped some of the things I wanted to say for brevity, but and Vauxhall is a great example of it, but in my opinion, just student athletes in general is, people don't realize that when you're going to school and you're playing baseball, baseball is a 40-hour job and you're going to school, so the time management piece. Baseball, by its nature, you fail, if you're a position player, you fail 70% of the time. You have to be able to take it. Right. You got to be able to take a coach chewing your butt every once in a while and come back from it. You learn teamwork, you learn communication, you learn leadership. There's all kinds of qualities that are great in the workplace, especially in my line of work, engineers are introverted and maybe don't have some of those qualities by nature a lot of times. But there are some of those qualities that you learn through sport in general, and they do a great job of fostering that here at Vauxhall. And at Vauxhall, they really had the community piece too, and caring about other people, getting out in the community. It's such a small, tight-knit group. Appreciation for other people, being humble, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, it's great.
Last question is, just what does it mean to you to come back to this community and to share with some of the athletes here that the end goal isn't necessarily Major League Baseball or even a career in baseball. You can achieve success in other fields as well, and this can be a part of that.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the most special part of the weekend for me. You know, they chose me for this award, and there's lots of kids that have been drafted and went on to play pro ball and played Division I baseball and had all kind of athletic accolades that I didn't necessarily have. And I don't even necessarily think I have a bunch of career accolades at this point. It's still pretty fresh. But just the fact that they're willing to recognize something other than academics here, and that there is another path. And, working hard and learning the lessons that you learn through baseball and through being at the academy, open up many more doors than just going to play baseball. And I don't think probably when you're doing it, you realize it. So I'm not sure if the kids necessarily realize it yet. Yeah. But that was it was nice to be able to talk to them a little bit. And hopefully they understand that there's multiple options out there for them.
Thanks again to Rance Mulliniks, Jackson Clemett, Carlin Dick, and David Reiniger for joining us on the podcast. And thanks to Ian and his wife for making the trek south for the banquet. We'd also like to thank you for downloading and listening. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening, as we have some great episodes already being planned for the next few weeks. Coming up next week, he was a man with a vision for baseball in southern Alberta, and it turned out to be in Okotoks, an in-depth conversation with John Arcandia. Until then, thanks again for all of your support, no matter the platform, of Alberta Dugout Stories.